Okay, today I'm going to be going over how to animate frames within the frame and also titles and other things like that in Premiere Pro. So here I have a blank project. I'm just going to first import a couple of segments. I'm going to import that, and I'm going to import this video as well. Okay. Now I'm going to have, this is my main sequence. It's a video of a mountain biker, whatever. Okay. And I'm actually going to add this sequence on top of it. But I want it just to be in the corner of the screen. Kind of like a newsreel. Okay. Now I'm also going to add a title here as well. Just going to call it something like Title 04, and I'm going to say something like Pay Attention. Okay, there's my title, and I'm going to add that somewhere, maybe at the beginning. Okay, so how to animate in Photoshop, or sorry, Premiere Pro. It's a very similar process to Photoshop, by the way. Number one, I'm going to click this layer. I want to animate this thing first. I'm going to make sure that I'm in Effect Controls up here. Make sure that I have a clip selected. So I have a clip selected. And I am going to animate the motion. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, at this point, I want it to be in the top left. Okay? So you see my timeline is here. And basically, I'm saying after a few frames, I want it to be here. I'm going to click this button here. This is toggle animation. This is also toggle a keyframe. I'm going to make a keyframe for its position right there. So what's that saying is, at this time, this object is in this place. But if I go backwards in time, I can change its position. So that its position is, hold on, I gotta just, I can just type in a number, and then I can drag it out, and I can type in a number as well. And so you see I've made two keyframes. I made a keyframe there, and then it animates to there. So if I press play, you'll see the frame animate in. Okay? So you see how I animated that object by creating a keyframe. Okay? The same thing applies to titles. Okay? So if I have this title here, let's just go back to this point in the timeline where it says pay attention. And let's say I want to animate this title. Well, I can do the same thing. Actually, I'm just going to briefly edit this so that it's easier to scale. This object, I'm just going to make exactly that size, and I'm going to put it in the center. Okay. Okay, so if I want to animate this thing, I can say sometime in the future, like here, that's the size I want it to be. I can say, or maybe I want it a little bit bigger. Maybe I want it to be like that. Okay. Again, I'm going to click the stopwatch, which creates a keyframe. Okay, I've told Premiere Pro at that time I wanted that big. Now if I go back to the beginning of time, I can change that to say 0. So it's basically nothing. So it's going to expand from nothing. So I've created two keyframes, one where its scale is 0 and one where it expands. If I press play, you'll see that it animates for me between those 2 points. Okay, it fills out the frames for me. It does like what used to take a lot of animators, like so cartoonists and people who would paint on film frames like a long time, now takes no time at all. Okay? So there's lots of different things you can animate. You can animate position, scale, you can animate rotation. Why don't we animate rotation to now here? So I'm going to animate here, and then I'm going to drag it into the future, and I'll just have it go 360 degrees or so, close to that. Okay, or 640, I guess. So again, it's going to get bigger, and then it's going to rotate. Okay, I animated that. All right. Now, today's task. Well, let's close